look at that. I'm going to wander out, so it's just you, the attention system. So thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to promote Major Saxton to Lieutenant Colonel. Very, very big promotion. Really thrilled to do that. First, I want to thank your family. It's a lot of sacrifice for the family. And he's got one representative child here, Sam, but he has a big brood. They're all in different places, mainly in school, and had excuses, and he wouldn't let them get out of school to come. So, but we all know how much a family is behind a soldier, and you recognize that at any promotion. But we really want to thank you for letting us borrow your husband and your dad for a while here with us with the 14th MP. See, even smile. 14th MP. So I want to go over Chaplain's career a little bit. Not everybody knows, everything that he's done. So he started as field artillery. Not everyone knows that either. So, and then in that role, so not just platoon leader time, but platoon leader, operations officer, and company commander. So he did quite a bit of time in field artillery. Really, that leadership on the ground time at Fort Sill. And then saw the light, literally and figuratively, right? And went to school, majored in theology, and came back in as a chaplain. And from there was assigned to Fort Eustis. He was a battalion chaplain, so if the battalion chaplains are here and say, he doesn't know what I go through every day, he has done that. He's not in training, but, well, actually, it was Eustis, but it was not in training. So he's walked that ground and deployed with that unit to Iraq, so done the deployment too. Then from there to Japan as a brigade chaplain. And then over to Germany, family life chaplain, and another brigade chaplain. Family life brigade there in Germany. And then here as a family life chaplain again, and then fortunate that he showed up in the 14th MP Brigade. So just a breadth of experience and locations. If someone's complaining about being overseas a couple times, they talk to the chaplain. He's certainly been there. But in that, I think he's gained a great feel for, what are soldiers able to accomplish, the different missions that we do, everything that goes on inside a unit, and he really has figured out how to support that. The reasons we love Chaplain Saxton, there's so many of them, but he is has wonderful initiative. If you tell him, this is what we want to do within the brigade, and we want to make sure everyone understands, we forged a regiment, this is where people start. He went out and got some boards, and every field breakfast that we did, he had a board that he created for the drill sergeants for the company. I think he started with one for drill sergeant, and they said, this is too much, but one per company, and it says, forge the regiment. He talks to them about what it means to forge something, and he put the regimental distinctive insignia on that. He's just got great initiative. He also fills many roles. The standard chaplain role, but he also does the non-standard, like coaching our very successful 5K and swim teams. He's excellent with that. He's probably the most competitive chaplain I've run into. He can do the pegboard thing in the gym. He can crush any of the monthly challenges we put at the gym. He's just a wonderful person. He's here for all of us. When we found out we had Muslim soldiers and there's no person to lead any of the Muslim services, and he went out into the community to try to find a person. He finally put together something at our chapel, even though it is small numbers, and he said, maybe that's not worth my time. He's going to find a way to support those soldiers in a religious accommodation as he can. It's just been wonderful in the brigade. I'm so happy that the Army has seen the kind of potential that he has, because that's what the promotion is potential. And recognize that. Unfortunately for us, that means we'll lose him, but I know he'll go on to bigger units and have big impact on the Army as he moves up in his career. So it's just an honor to promote him today. So as your wife going to do that, you want to come up to do that? Read the orders when she gets settled. Go ahead, publish the orders.
Attention orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Major Damon Deal Saxton. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore promoted in the United States Army to the grade and rank of Lieutenant Colonel, effective 2 April 2017. By order of the Secretary of the Army, signed, Zareda I. Mather, Major, GS, Chief, Officer Promotion Branch. Colonel Nell will now render the oath of office to Chaplain Saxton.
I state your name.
I, Damon Saxton,
having been appointed
having been appointed
an officer
an officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States
in the rank of Lieutenant Colonel,
in the rank of Lieutenant Colonel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
that I take this obligation
that I take this obligation
freely,
freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you very much, Colonel Nell. I appreciate your kind words. I have a thank you card right here, and yes, oh, please be seated. I'm sorry. That was really my job to say, you guys. So I got a thank you card, and this is really for all of you guys. I didn't have enough for everybody, so I just brought one, and this is really good. And I got some family and friends watching on Facebook as well, and this is for them. And I'm going to I've got some people in here that I want to specifically mention. First of all, first of all, I want to mention God. In all my promotions, I have seen Him present, but this one has been the most clear time where I've seen God's hand in getting me promoted. I was stationed in Germany before here, as you heard, and I loved it there a lot. And I've been there for 2 years, and I was just about to put in an extension for senior year, hoping to get 4 years out of Germany. And the week before I was going to put it in, I got surprise orders pulling me out a year early, and I was pretty upset about that. And I even fought it a little bit, but I had this impression, don't fight it. And there was an important reason for that. The position I was in, the situation I was in Germany, I wasn't able to show my potential. We get promoted on potential, and in that position I was not able to really show my potential. And I think God knew that. And if I would have stayed there, I don't think my file would have been strong enough to get me promoted. The Chaplain Corps is possibly the most competitive branch in the military to get promoted in. We love our jobs; they're fulfilling, and we don't want to leave. So it's very competitive to get promoted. So God pulled me out of there, and He put me here. I first went to MCOM. The garrison commander and Chaplain Thomas were amazing. I had great opportunities to shine. And then I got to come here to the 14th MP Brigade. And I've absolutely loved this. I would say this is probably my favorite assignment in the whole military is here at the 14th MP Brigade. And Colonel Nell, I wasn't due for an OER, but I think God moved on her to look at her profile and see who was who needed to have an OER, and she realized that my promotion was coming up, or my board was meeting in a little over a month, and she did complete the record, which she didn't have to do, and I really appreciate that. It was a very solid rating right before my promotion board, and I believe that was very key in my promotion. So I appreciate you listening to God and honoring my service here very much. And that was the next person that I was going to go to is Colonel Nell. I've been in the Army now for 18 years, and I've worked for a lot of commanders, and I can say without reservation that Colonel Nell is the best one that I've worked for in 18 years. she's an incredible commander, and I appreciate, really enjoyed having the opportunity to work for you. The next one, this isn't in any order, but certainly God is first, and my wife would be second in my promotion. I'm just going to give you a little idea of what my wife does for me. The little boards that I made for the drill sergeants, I didn't tell Colonel Nell this, but I actually made one for every single drill sergeant. I made 180 little plaques for the drill sergeants. They renovated our chapel a couple years ago, and they took out a bunch of oak, and they were just going to throw it away. And it was a bunch of 2x4s of oak. I was like, you can't throw away all that wood. So I took it home, and I made little plaques for all the drill sergeants. I was like, oh, once I get an assembly line going, it won't take me that long to make these plaques. It took a long time. There were a few nights where I was up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning trying to sand and cut and put these things together, varnish and stain and all that stuff. And many times my wife was right there with me, sanding, putting the lettering on, and all kinds of stuff like that to put these plaques together. And then Bump D knows that we had a luncheon the other day for 45 people, and I got the harebrained idea to do some brisket and some ribs and make my own sides and stuff. Some of my favorite recipes for 45 people, and the weather and the equipment and everything else didn't cooperate, and I ended up making a huge mess in the house. Every single dish in the kitchen was a mess, and I had fat and stuff all over the kitchen table, and I spilled it on the floor, and I didn't have time to clean it up before I had to get the lunch to Bump D. And while I was gone, giving the message and sharing the lunch with Bump D, Christine cleaned up the entire kitchen. I came back, and it looked like I'd never touched it. These are the kinds of things, those are just 2 examples of 18 years of that kind of stuff. I get these harebrained ideas, and she cleans up after me. So I couldn't be where I am without her, for sure. I don't have the potential on my own, so I appreciate all that she's done for me. I want to thank Sergeant Cooper. Where'd you go? Right there, Sergeant Cooper. He's a great NCO, loyal and hardworking, takes initiative, and he's an example of the great chaplain assistants that I've had that have helped me also get to this point. I appreciate having him as a chaplain assistant, and he represents, I know I might have a couple of them watching me on Facebook, and this is for you guys too. I appreciate all your support. And commanders along the way. When I transitioned from field artillery to a chaplain, I had to get the permission of my commander to leave the field artillery branch. And when I went in there to get that permission, I was a little worried that he wasn't gonna let me go because he didn't have to. But he said, "Chaplain, or Captain Saxton, the chaplain is the only true job in the world. The rest of us are just passing time." So he said, "Of course, I'll sign this for you." I had no problem getting that signature from him, and I've had lots of commanders like that were fully supportive of me, what I did, both in the field artillery and as a chaplain. My first 2 brigade chaplains, one of them is the 18th Airborne Corps chaplain right now, and the other is the I Corps command chaplain right now. I had great mentors in the chaplains that when I first came in to the chaplain corps, so I appreciate the chaplains as well. And so finally, back to all of you guys, I didn't know what it was like the support that chaplains got until I became one. But just when I walk into an office into a building. It was very different than when I was a field artillery officer and walked into an office or a building. Everyone here has been so supportive of me, and I know if I just wore a major rank, I know you guys would all respect the rank because you're all professionals, but it's very different the support I get as a chaplain. I know a lot of you have been over backwards to help me out. I definitely have my own flaws, and you guys have have stepped in there when I needed you, and sometimes jumped through hoops, and I truly appreciate that. So I appreciate everybody here and all that you do and the support that you guys give to all the chaplains, not just me. It is a hard job. It's an important job, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have to continue to work as a chaplain. And so I guess all I have to say for my words is thank you, everybody. Oh, you know what? I got family watching me right here, and besides my wife, family back home in Idaho and Utah, and I'd be very remiss if I didn't say something to them. I have great parents that raised me to be the moral, ethical, hardworking, compassionate person that I am, and I would not be who I am today without them. So I want to thank them, and I know my grandpa's watching. He raised my mom right to teach me to be. She's an amazingly compassionate person. He raised her to be that kind of person, and so I'd like to thank all my family and friends back home for all that they did for me as well. So thank you, everybody. I got some food next door, so sorry about you guys watching me today. Food next door. Please stay and have some of that. Do I need to turn the time over to anybody else, or are we done? All right. Thanks, everybody.